Great. Okay. So hopefully everyone should be able to see my presentation. My name's Leonard. I'm going to be hosting this webinar, and it's really a pro demo. So you should see a blue screen with the title. Going into a safe harbor slide now. So basically, if you guys are not familiar with the safe harbor statement that Salesforce frequently use before a presentation or demo, it's just to say don't make any purchase decisions based on forward-looking statements. So if we talk about machine learning and Einstein and all sorts of cool stuff, you know, you can't make the decision on stuff that's not available yet. And we do talk about the future a lot in this industry. Okay, great. So one thing I'm going to ask as a favor to all of the participants is to get involved in the demo. I'd really love it if you could go to my AFD Facebook and Twitter pages and leave a post, a comment, a reply on a post, a direct message or Facebook message. And if you just say anything like, hey, AFD, I'm totally loving the Social Studio webinar being run by Robin. He is totes amazeballs. Hashtag AFD Pro Demo. So the link's below there, but if you just search for All Famous Digital on both of them, Facebook and Twitter, you'll find them. Great. Okay, so today is going to be action-packed. I'm going to run through a lot of stuff really quickly. My real intention for this is to show you what it would look like from a user perspective, to really see the cool, detailed stuff. Okay, I'm just getting some people saying they can't hear. Is anyone able to hear? I guess, Paul, you're able to hear. Okay, I'm getting some yeses. So I'm not sure what I can do about that, but there will be a recording available within 24 hours. So maybe just persevere for as long as you can, and if necessary, then just pick up on the recording. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to crack in some high-level stuff, publish, engage, analyze. I'm going to do in-depth demos. How do we operationalize Social Studio? And then also, how do you work with a partner with Social Studio? So if you have a digital agency and you want to know how to leverage the tool, we're going to go through that in 10 minutes for Q&A. Please follow me on Instagram or Twitter, Robin_AFD. So just a little bit about me, if you don't already know who I am. I'm co-founder and CEO of AF Digital. We're a Salesforce consulting partner. My background, I really started my professional career as a customer service agent in Vodafone New Zealand. And then I just progressed through Vodafone and became a telco business analyst. I was responsible for the Siebel implementation, which was a 5-year, $500 million project. I was the lead BA across Australia, New Zealand, and Fiji. So that was really my first look at CRM. I've had through that and, you know, following projects, I've had really deep CRM and BI experience. My last job before I started the business, I was an IBM Agile project manager working with Deutsche Bank on a Cognos analytics dashboard project in the Philippines. And that kind of led me on to starting the business in the Philippines with my co-founder, Pauline. I'm just passionately geeky. I really love technology. I love the future. Salesforce really excites me because they're way ahead of where people are actually using the software. So we founded the company in 2011. We were a Radian 6 partner in 2012, and that's really been my focus. So, you know, since then, I've been evangelizing social in Asia, across APAC in the enterprise space. You know, we've been doing lots of talks and demos and convincing people they need to listen on social media and, you know, actually treat it like a robust service channel. And so this is kind of, it's all led me to this space. So our company, you know, we worked with a lot of enterprise companies. One of the recent ones we did in collaboration with Salesforce was Stockland, where we rolled out Social Studio to 80 different brands across Australia. There was a huge rollout. We used Agile. We did the project in 30 days. So we've got a very deep understanding of Social Studio. We've put it through our paces. We've got a delivery center in the Philippines, which is like a shared marketing operation. And we've got offices in Australia and Singapore. And we're a tech-enabled full-service digital agency. So, you know, while we're a technology partner to Salesforce, we're also very much a digital agency with the look and feel and skill sets of any other digital agency. And this has really been our bread and butter for the longest period. You know, and over time, Salesforce has actually become more of a breadwinner to us than our core. You know, so it's really interesting how technology has become a huge part of marketing. Okay, great. So I'm going to jump into the high-level features. I'm right on track. So Salesforce has a very comprehensive social ecosystem. So if we look at the kind of top three on the left, analyze, engage, publish, that's really covered by Social Studio. And that's really everything a marketing team need to run their social channels. Analyzing, reporting, social listening, reporting on your social pages, engagement on and off page, so you can engage with people that you listen to based on trending topics, or people that are just Facebook messaging you. And publishing, and there's so much flexibility. They've really built the Social Studio for enterprise. So it's built for Stocklands, where they have 80 different brands, and they have central governance over that. And then, of course, Command Center, which is a really great feature. It used to be Social Command Center, but now it's really just become a command center. So we've got sales, marketing, service in there, and then social, and it's really epic. We've also, and I'll talk a lot about this, but down the bottom, we've got Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud. So sales and service is really the core offering of Salesforce, right? They're a CRM company. Marketing Cloud with a recent acquisition of ET. So they become really core pillars of your customer journey, right? Sales, service, marketing. What Salesforce have done is they've integrated social with that core part of your business. So, and with automation intelligence, there's another platform called Social Hub that automates and integrates that. So it's really exciting. Yeah, and I'm probably not going to start ranting about this. So 9 reasons I love Social Studio. And this is honest, you know, like I'm a real advocate. I'm also critical of the platform. I'm the first person to complain when something doesn't feel right. You know, I give a lot of feedback, but Salesforce are really rapidly changing it. So, and which is my first point, they're rapidly releasing awesome new features. And if you've been on the release notes, you'll see that, you know, at the moment they're really throwing Einstein, and, you know, they've got Einstein Vision coming into Social Studio, some really cool stuff that we can't even wrap our heads around how to use it. You know, we're still doing 101, a lot of us. So second point, it integrates easily into the Salesforce ecosystem. And so this is where, you know, if you are going with point solutions, they may look cooler or be easier to use or have some feature that you think is really important. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't integrate with your customer journey, your CRM process, it's still a point. It's disconnected. Your social's not connected with your business. So my third point, enterprise governance for big and small companies. So everyone needs governance on social. Like, it doesn't mean you only need it if you're really large. Social Studio is built for anything. So you can not have any governance, or you can have really strict governance there. You can have governance at scale, you know, where you have a lot of complexity, or you can have just simple governance and apply that at scale. So it's really flexible. It's got a sleek UI. So, you know, they've really designed it for non-technical marketers, because we know that people struggle to adopt new technology. So they've made it easy. Big data analytics is easier than with BI tools, and it's actionable. So I'm going to show you this, but this is really what I think is cool, because social listening was where we started, right, with Radian 6. So the analytics, and we've gone past this as well. So we do stuff with Microsoft Power BI, like really deep data analytics, but it's still hard. You know, you've still got to do with APIs and SQL. With Social Studio, it's drag and drop, it's configurable, there's no way to make an error or a mistake, and it's just easy to get what you want out of it. So that's the thing, it's easier to use Social Studio than to have your data be operated in a BI tool. You know, as a marketer, you just want to get stuff quickly without logging a request to IT, right? Okay, so number 6, metadata tagging allows next level insights. And this is really cool. You enrich your data all the time just using it, and then suddenly your existing social data, it just becomes so beautiful because you're tagging author history, etc. Support structured workflow or unstructured chaos. So similar to the governance, you can really structure it or keep it unstructured and it still works. There's macros and duplication that reduce clicking. This is a common complaint of social media specialists, is the amount of clicking involved. They always get like, I don't know, RSI and, you know, those kind of things. So there's just so much to do, especially with tagging. And finally, it enables you to work efficiently with partners. And this is really a huge benefit to businesses now, is that there's no longer a kind of over the fence type relationship where you send a brief and you get something back and you don't have time to review it. And, you know, this is really collaborative, but it's also really clear who's doing what. So there's full traceability, and you don't have to operate with an Excel sheet and a social media platform. You can really just use the one place to do all of your workflow and collaboration. Great. Okay, so that's why I love it. So we're going to jump straight into the published demo. So there's 2 actors. So I've got John Frankenstein, who's our social media specialist. I don't know why I came up with him, but it was just late when I did this presentation. Maybe that's why. And myself, I'm playing the role of social media manager. So we'll focus on publish first. So looking at these 2, so John's job, and this is really simple, right? He's got to ideate new content. So he's got to come up with new stuff. And this is a recurring thing. He has to do this every week for the rest of eternity and come up with new ideas for his brand. And he's got to do it autonomously. Like, you can't really rely on an agency, you know, if he's an in-house guy, assuming. Second point, prepare the draft content calendar for approval. Okay, very simple. And then third, he reports on the performance of his content. So that's a very simple job in the publishing area. As the social director, my job changed. I got a promotion. I'm a social director now. I have to give John direction and guidance on what he's doing. And I also review and approve content. So it's very simple. Okay, so I'm jumping in. I always get a bit nervous doing live demos. So currently I'm logged in as Frankenstein, John Frankenstein, I mean. He doesn't like it when I call him Frankenstein. He's quite sensitive. So just going into my publishing. So this is actually this week. So right now I'm in the planning stage of next week. So I'm not sure how many of you have already seen this or are familiar. I'm going to try and not jump around too much. This is my calendar for next week. If I look at my month view, I can see that, you know, it looks like this. All of these gray ones are draft. The blue ones are scheduled, and the lighter blue ones are already published. So just looking at my week, so I've already been preparing this. So at the moment, I'm going through and I'm really finalizing them for publishing. So I know that Robin sent me an email and he said that there's actually been some comments added, but everything else is fine. So this one, I see there's no comments. So I'm actually going to schedule this for publishing. So, and this is the key point. As a social media writer, I've got to get my post approved by Robin, but I don't want to go for approval until it's really ready for final approval. Otherwise, I'm going to bombard Robin with approvals, and it's really annoying to reject approvals. If you guys are using this already, it's like back and forwards with approvals and rejecting. It's kind of a negative process, in my opinion. So what I like to do is work in draft. So right now I've got this draft post, and I've just scheduled it for publishing. So that's changed from gray to blue, and I know that Robin. Oh, I've just right now on my phone I've received a notification, my Social Studio app, to say John Frankenstein requires your approval for post. So I'm going to show you the screens. I can't demo the mobile screens, unfortunately, here. I'm just going to do a couple of these so you get the rhythm. So this is my workflow. Right now, I'm in the process of approving, like publishing all my drafts. Okay, cool. So Robin's added a comment, recording is available now. What did he mean? Missed the Social Studio last Friday. We had a huge turnout and lots of great feedback. The recording is now available. The recording is available. Oh, Robin is so annoying. He does this all the time. He's so anal with his wording. So I'm just going to go and edit that. Cool. And I'm just going to update that wording. Is available now. Okay, cool. So this is currently in draft. I'm going to now schedule it because I think that Robin will approve that. And then we're back. We are. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to that post and just say update fixed. Oh, okay, I've just received another thing on my phone to say approved. Okay, so you get the gist, right? So this is one of my workflow processes, is just to go through and approve these drafts. But let's talk about next week, because I've already drafted out this week. So what I want to do for next week is I want to publish a post on this webinar to remind people to watch it if they didn't see it. So let me just have a look into today. What I might do is, okay, here's one promoting the webinar beforehand. So I'm going to reuse this. I may as well put this into my content calendar, shared content space, sorry. So I'm going to click share content. So that's going to put it into my content library. Cool, so it's there. So I'm just going to take out some of this wording. If you missed the webinar last week on Social Studio AFD Pro Demo, a hashtag where he took a look under the hood at Salesforce. This is I probably need to abbreviate this because Robin gets really upset when I use too many words. So I'll just say you can watch the recording in this link below. Great, okay, and I'm going to save that. I have to share it with my workspace. There we go. I have a lot of workspaces because I've got clients. Great. Okay, excellent. So that's now shared in my shared content library. So because I want to use that piece of content again, I'd also like to track it as well as one piece of content. So just in my menu here, I've got shared content. So this is the post, and I'm now going to schedule an actual post. So I know that it's going to be 24 hours for this recording to be available, but last time it took a little bit longer than that. So I'm going to schedule this for Monday just to be safe, but I can be fairly certain that by Monday it'll be available. So it's Monday the 17th, and I feel for my target audience, I feel like early morning is the best time to catch me on Facebook, because hopefully they shouldn't be looking at it all day, being responsible. Oh, I forgot to mention. So one thing that I did is, let me go back to that. I made a few mistakes actually. Okay, so I actually scheduled this. I didn't save it as draft, so that would have gone through for approval. So one thing that happened is when I create a new post, I have a default macro set up. So this default macro, and that applies to every single post, and that does the basic tagging and like targeting that I need to do. So, okay, so where is it? Okay, so it's got the countries I want to target. So by default, you wouldn't, you'd just go out and, you know, I'd be targeting South Africa, but I really don't, I'm not marketing to South Africa. So I really just want to target the countries I'm marketing to. I want to target over 21-year-olds. I do care about you know, young people, they're millennials, but they're not decision makers. I need college graduates, preferably English speaking, because I only publish content in English. and we've got some other targeting. So these are all filters that you can put in to organically target, and this is just within Facebook. I've set up a default macro to target. So this default will always run, but I've also got another macro here for webinars, because I run webinars quite frequently. So if I click this webinar macro, it's also going to add webinar as a label. So what that means is that I can report on the performance of all my webinar posts later. Great. Okay, so that is my Facebook post. So before I accidentally scheduled it, I actually want to save it as a draft. So I'm just going to save it as draft. Okay, I've got to move on to the next demo shortly, but I'll just wrap this one up. So what we saw was how to submit for approval, but how to work in drafts is really the key part. And then we also wanted to create a post and reuse it. So we created a shared content post. And then we shared that post to Facebook for Monday the 17th, and we did that as draft. Yeah, so I just want to close this out, and I want to share the same piece of content to LinkedIn, because it's exactly the same format. So, boom. Okay, and it's already selected LinkedIn. And you can see my default macro that I've set up before. It automatically targets decision makers, you know, through LinkedIn. So it's already got all of the settings set up. So the macro is set in the workspace config area. But this just makes it a lot easier. And so this is now publishing to LinkedIn. I've just got to choose the time when I publish it. And it's the 17th, and I think it was like in the afternoon. Save as draft. Great, and I'll just go back to my calendar. And I've got these two posts here, so I'll probably just do them at the same time. So just shuffle them on the calendar, and there you go. So it's really as simple as that. So that's really the, I guess, going back to John Frankenstein. So that's the those steps around publishing. I think the other thing as well is he needs to ideate as well when he's thinking. So I'm just going to jump into the analyze section. So this is really interesting. You've got a writer, but you've also got to train them to be cross-skilled so they can leverage the other aspects of the platform. So right now I'm in a Salesforce listing template. So this is a shared dashboard. It's been custom built. So if you're not aware, you can custom make dashboards and put in whatever widgets you like. What I'm going to do is, this is a shared template, so I'm just going to create a duplicate. Okay, and so this is our Salesforce listing report from June. Okay, I'm just going to go to June. Just going to bring my publishing screen up in parallel. Okay, great. So, so what do I look for? And this is one of the biggest questions asked by social media specialists is, okay, I've got all this information, but where do I get that insight, that actionable insight? And it's really, I guess it's like any other skill. There's a lot of different tools that you can use, but it's about knowing what those tools are. So for me, one of the quickest ways, and I'm not going to show you everything, but it's just to look at the trends by keyword group. So in this example, we've got a topic profile with different keyword groups set up. So the green is, we're listening for mentions of Salesforce Service Cloud. Where this is Sales Cloud. The dark color is Marketing Cloud. So basically, we've set up a topic profile to listen for any mentions of any Salesforce products. As a Salesforce consulting partner, we really care about the trends of the industry, and often, anything that's happening with Salesforce, we need to be aware of, and we'll cross promote that, or we'll build services around it. So I've got all these keyword groups. So if we just drill into this one graph. So we just need to give it a bit of time to load. It's quite a lot of data. Okay, cool. So actually, this is the one I care about the most, Marketing Cloud. So I'm just going to look into this spike. So we can see all of them have their own trends, right? So this is the biggest Marketing Cloud spike. So I'm just going to have a look through and see what was the cause of this spike. This is quite interesting. This Salesforce now #1. Okay, so that may have been what caused that trend. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a note to myself, go back to the calendar, because I do want to publish that, but I'm still going to go through my draft process. So still got these things in draft, but I'm looking to build out next week's calendar. So I'm going to add a note, publish post about Marketing Cloud being #1. Great, and that's it. So now I've got a note. So as I'm collaborating, I'm working in here. I've got maybe Robin put a note in me on Wednesday saying, "Hey, can you please do a post around this event we've got coming up?" So that's really how I do my job as a social media specialist that's doing the publishing part of it. And you may have a situation where you have one person doing everything, or one person just focused on doing the publishing. Great. Okay, so I'm going to jump back. So that is publishing. I do just want to show you. This is what the mobile post approval looks like, and this is literally screenshots from my phone. So John Frankenstein requires your approval for a post. And then it shows me this approve, reject with details of the post, which I can go through and edit myself. And then in this case, I went and said reject, and I put a note saying, please improve the copy, which is a terrible instruction, but yeah, it's just an example. So that's the thing, is I don't want to be bombarded with this every time John Frankenstein clicks schedule, because it may shift and change a lot, especially if he's scheduling it for 2 or 3 weeks out. I really only want to approve it after I've had a look at it, after I've really given feedback and comments. Great. Okay, so we're going to go into Engage. So just drop any questions in if you guys have any. I hope I'm not rushing through this. There's quite a lot of depth of stuff you can talk about, but I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. So again, we've got John and myself. So John's job is to review, tag, engage, and close all posts, right? So he's doing the engagement job. So he's got to close everything. He's got to assign posts to other Social Studio users. He also needs to escalate cases and leads to Salesforce, assuming that you've got the integration set up, and trigger Marketing Cloud journeys. So that's all he has to do, right? Agency or internal. It's just manage all of those posts, make sure they're all addressed. He doesn't have to reply to everything, just make sure they're all reviewed and tagged and assigned. And then if there's something to be done in CRM or something to be done in Marketing Cloud, he can trigger that. And so he's really empowered now. Gone are the days of sending emails back and forward from the marketing agency to customer service. Right, so I'm going to jump in. Okay, so back to Engage. So I'm not sure if there's any legacy Social Studio users out there, but one thing that I really enjoy is Social Studio is a lot faster than it used to be. It's really like super quick now. Okay, great. So I'm still logged in as John Frankenstein. And these are our AFD social pages. Oh, wow, cool. We've got some photos that have gone up. Awesome. Okay, great. So I'm just gonna try do John's job a little bit. So the way I've got my columns set up, I've got Facebook Wall, Facebook Messenger. I split them out because I feel like they're different channels. Twitter @mentions, Twitter listening, which is any brand mention of us, Twitter DMs, Instagram listening, and LinkedIn as well. So basically, my job as an engagement specialist or a social specialist is to go through and just clear everything out, make sure we've addressed it. So in this case, it's a brand post. This happens. There's actually no way to filter these out that I know of. I'm happy if anyone's got a solution for this. I know it's on the roadmap, but it's no hassle really. You just hide the post. So, but I just need to make sure. Okay, so I've got a post here from Robin. That's my boss. So he said, "Happy Friday from AFD Sydney office." So I'm really stoked that he's happy and not angry at me. Hi, Robin. Happy Friday. Have an awesome day. Okay, cool. And I'm just going to post that back. Great. And then I'm just going to change the status of that. So, and this is really important. This drives the logic of the workflow. So, and you really have to get your head around all of these. So some of them are closed. I won't go through them in detail, but some of them mean closed, some of them mean still open. So in this case, commented closed. So that means that I've closed it. You can see it's grayed out there. I've also shown hidden as well. You can either choose to hide hidden or show hidden. I like to show them because it makes me feel like I've done work. Great. Okay, so the next one. So I'm just clearing out my Facebook wall. So this again, I probably should, just to be consistent, I should probably close it, reviewed, closed, no engagement required. And that hides it. Okay, great. So I'm going to move across to my Facebook Messenger column. So, and I've already done some work closing out some tasks. So I've just got one Facebook Messenger, got this, I'll send her the proposal on deck. Oh yeah, so this one is actually, Jen is in the system, Jen de Guzman. So she's our business development manager. This is some kind of proposal. So we're asking Jen to take care of it. Yeah, so I've assigned that to Jen, and so she'll receive a notification, and that stays open in there. Okay, I'm going to move across to Twitter. So just scrolling down a bit, I haven't been very up to date with my Twitter, so I'll just go through a few of them. So that's Robin. Of course, I am going to like that. He likes it when I like his stuff. And it's just liking. Just reset that. That should just like, and you can actually navigate away, and actions will kind of just happen, you know. So it's quiet. You don't have to wait for stuff to load. It's got a really fast UI. Cool. So he's got this as well. So I'm being lazy. I should say resolve, review, close, no engagement required, and that just closes it out. Cool. So as you can see, there's a few clicks, and I would encourage everyone to start from a base of just completing the metadata and learning how it works. What you can then do is start to create some macros that just take it to the next level. And these are really for commonly used scenarios. So quite often we have job applicants. So we've got an applicant macro. I won't use that here. I will use the complement. So, and that just does some stuff. It adds sentiment and it does a little bit of tagging. One of the common ones to use is no action. And that just really, it just hides it, puts it away, changes the status for you. So that's obviously a really common one to use. So another really cool thing as well is we've got author labels and post labels. And so the author labels and post labels are really powerful, and you'll see soon in the reporting. But it allows us to really tag a person. So Paul here is tagged as staff, is also tagged as VIP. So every time Paul comes up, let's see another example of Paul, but it will always have him there as staff, and I can report on that later. So I can build a dashboard and say, show me all mentions by staff in June, which is really powerful. You know, show me all mentions by people that are happy in July. So yeah, it becomes really cool. It makes your reporting really rich as well. And you can also use the macros to tag. So a lot of the purpose behind these macros is really to tag, to say, okay, this is staff, etc. Cool. So I'm just gonna jump through and do a little bit more with some new ones. Listening to Social Studio Pro Demo webinar. Awesome. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna favorite that. And I'm going to retweet it. And I'm going to say, thank you. Thanks, Patricia. You are a legend. Cool. Did that favorite go through? Okay. Yeah, so it's as simple as that. And now I've finished that for now, right? So, and this is really the logic is I've commented it. I'm not really expecting a reply. I'm not like asking her a question. I've just commented and I'm going to close that. And that's done. And then I can move on. And that's the thing is no matter what you do is you should be closing everything, even if it's totally irrelevant. So yeah, here is an example of someone that they've replied to a post, and I don't think I need to engage. So I can just say review, close, no engagement required. Or I could have used the macro no action. I'm actually not in the habit of using my own macros because I like to have full control. Like I like to know exactly what I'm doing. And I think once you get used to it, it's really quite easy to go through, and it's very satisfying to close these all out and go, yes, I've done my job as a social media specialist. I resolved everything. Yeah, cool. So before I move on, I'm probably out of time. One thing that is really awesome with this is the fact that you can create a case, or I can create a lead in Salesforce CRM. So, and this is really where a lot of marketing agencies are struggling. Like, for example, say you're an airline and you've got Saatchi and Saatchi running your Facebook page because they're the most creative and awesome agency, and that's cool. But they are not going to be built to handle all of the inbound inquiries, the booking requests, the complaints. And it's really hard to differentiate the noise. You'll put out a marketing post, like a branding post that's like happy and cherry. People will be commenting on it going, hey, I just missed my flight, ticket number, blah, blah, blah. So that's where it's really important to just have a super easy button to click that will send it to Salesforce, and it closes it here, and then you operate in Salesforce Service Cloud and resolve that case directly, answering back in social. Same with social leads. So this goes directly into Sales Cloud, and then it can be assigned to a salesperson, and they can really properly manage that relationship. So, you know, and for me, it's like a lot of my relationships are, you know, very targeted relationships, and I want to be talking to them, not the social media specialists. And finally, triggering journeys. So, and this is where you'd trigger it. So you'd say, okay, Patricia, oh no, not Patricia. I don't necessarily want to sell to her. She's selling to me. But say anyone else. So Tony, although she's in my company, I shouldn't be advertising to her, but I can trigger a journey and have her added to an advertising audience. And then that just starts a different process. So imagine that you get into an advertising audience, you target her with a lead gen ad, and then we get her email address from her, and then she goes into a normal sales cycle. So easy, right? Maybe she won't click the ad, but maybe she will. You know, you've now got the ability to really integrate social from the social specialist that's doing engagement. It enables them. Okay, so jumping back. Okay, so review, tag, engage, and close all posts. assign posts to other social studios. I didn't really show you how to do that, but it's just as simple as anything. So I can just go assignment. Oh, I did show you actually. We assigned a post to Jen. So, and it's as simple as this, and then she will receive in her social studio, her tasks, she will receive all of her assigned posts in here, and then she can go in and work on them. Great, okay, so jumping back into the presentation. Okay, so, the engagement report. So I'll show you the engagement report next, but really that's the only other part of this. So we've got John Frankenstein who's doing engagement. He's going hard. He loves clearing out his Social Studio Engage columns. But then you've got Robin, who is so anal about wording and quality and being consistent and the numbers. He's really demanding. So he needs oversight into what's happening with engagement. So I'll cover that in the Analyze demo. So Analyze, again, we've got John, and this is what I encourage most Social Studio users should try and become all-rounders. It's way better to have an all-rounder than just someone that does engagement but doesn't know how to write a post. That's silly. You should just be able to do everything. So we've got John, monitor and report on social page performance. So this is just standard. He's got to provide a report on how is the social page performing. He's got to monitor and report on social listening for brand, competitors, and industry. So this is like, a lot of people want this, but no one does it very well. This is his job, and it's really easy for him to do. He needs to go through an action post as required. So this is really another amazing feature, is as he's going through and building these reports, he can action them from within the platform. So he can assign them to people, he can reply to them directly, he can re-tag them, anything. And then also he needs the ability to perform deep analysis on campaigns and crises. And that's a really hard job. Like if someone said, guys, can you just do this starting from tomorrow? You know, a lot of people, if they hadn't really done a lot of this before, they'd be like, oh, so, you know, that's pretty challenging. So we're going to show you how to do that in Social Studio. And then again, Robin, he needs oversight. Yeah, we'll come back to that. Okay, great. So jumping into Analyze. Excellent. Okay, so these are my dashboards that I've got set up. So I'm just going to go through. So I think the first thing that I had to do was report on the page. So I've got a page report template set up here. So I'm going to show you that. But what I want to do actually is show you how to build a new dashboard, because that's really teaching a man to fish. So this is one that I've pre-prepared, and this really manages my key social pages. So Facebook, these are all my post labels that I've been tagging with. Honestly, we don't invest that much of our resource into our own social pages. We're usually running clients and ours get left behind. So don't judge us. But if I had my way, we'd have a full team dedicated to this. So yeah, basically I've got sentiment set up. So this is tracking sentiment on page, the comments on page, the different authors, the post status. So what's the engagement workflow, the reach trend, very comprehensive. That's Facebook. I scroll down, I've got the Twitter summary as well. So I've got the different types, you know, what's going on. These are all drill downable. So anyway, I've built a really sick dashboard. This probably took, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe at worst, given I know what I'm doing, but I'm going to show you how easy it is. So blank dashboard template, super easy. I've already got my stuff connected. So to choose from, I've got a bunch of different assets. So what I want to show you is just Facebook actually. Let's have a look at the Facebook. Okay, so I've got all these different widgets, and there's heaps of them, and they keep adding them, and they're all awesome. But what I really like is post volume, because that gives me the overall numbers. Oh, I've got to select the social account. Done. Too easy. Okay, cool. So that's given me the post volume. I might just drag that down because often there's a few different types there. So this shows me the total number of posts. I think this is a 7-day period by default. Sent inbox messages, received inbox messages, post comments, whether it's up and down, etc., etc. So that's cool. Another one that I really like is sentiment. So this is sentiment on your Facebook page. So everyone that's writing posts and comments and messages, this is the sentiment. And sentiment trend as well is another important one. I also want to see, definitely want to see post assignment. And this is really what I want to do more is drive everything having an owner. And this is where you start to see who's doing all the work here, because whoever takes a post and closes it is the owner of it. I want to see the post labels. I want to see top words. I want to see media type trend. Okay, great. Cool. Okay, so actually I'm just going to move some stuff around. I'm a little bit picky with where I like stuff. Just going to make that one, throw it there. Okay, we've got our media type trend, our sentiment trend, sentiment, post labels, post assignment. I want to add author labels as well. Oh, no, that's wrong. Source. So I'm just going to choose my Facebook again. Author labels. And maybe just one more, which would be post status. Great. Okay, so that's kind of an all-round Facebook report. Oh, there's some other cool ones as well, like engagement trend and published post by engagement. Throw those guys in there. Oh no, not that one. I don't like that one. It's all very subjective, right? But I mean, the thing is, as you just use it, you'll start learning which ones work for you and which ones you really like. Wrong account. And as you can see, it's really easy. There's nothing technical here. There's no SQL. There's none of the graphs don't work generally. Like there's no like, oh, you can't have that because you're not sorting by the right column, or you're missing this field name, or any of that custom nonsense that you get with most IT platforms. So this is my Facebook page report template. Boom, done, nailed it. And I'm just going to save that. And I'm going to also share that. So I want everyone else in the workspace to have access to this. This is a template. So I can now, if I want to create a monthly report, I can now go, okay, I want to do June Facebook report. Boom. Oh, actually, I probably should have duplicated that. So, okay, it's duplicated already. So see how fast it was. I did that before it even finished loading. It's really responsive to UI. So this is now the June, but it's the copy. So I'm just going to rename it. So it's Facebook June 17 page report. Boom, done. I'm going to share that with the workspace because I know Robin's been asking me for that. It's so annoying. And so, so now this is done. So I've now got the Facebook report. I customized it. You can use the default ones. They're also awesome. But you know, this is a pro demo. I'm showing you the pro way of using it. So I really encourage everyone to get in and use it. So if I'm John, there's just probably one more step I want to take, which is to PDF it. So I can save it as a PDF, and that will download it. It looks like this. There we go. And you know, I can use that and then email that to Robin with a summary of what's going on and say, here's the report. It's got the key numbers he needs. He needs to know how many posts. He needs to know about the sentiment. He needs to be like, what's that? So that's like super easy, right? Is to just email him that and maybe highlight in bullets the key things that have gone on here. And you would do that analysis by drilling in and just going, okay, what was this? Maybe you could retag some stuff. Maybe that's not really all green. Maybe it's like, oh, we'll shift this to neutral to reflect a more accurate representation. So, okay, so that's basic 101, right? But Robin is demanding as hell. So he asked me to build these reports. So what I've done is I've built an example report. I built this in like 20 minutes, right? This is all you need to do with social reporting. I mean, obviously you can take it to a really great place and make it amazing, but most social media specialists just don't enjoy doing that. They struggle with it. So I guess the difference between sending your boss that PowerPoint, sorry, the PDF, and doing this is you're adding findings and insights. And it's really simple how to do this. So all I do is I take a screenshot. And sorry, when I say I do this, I don't do this. We use a different solution for reporting. It's much more advanced. But if I was to do this as my day job and I was, you know, like strapped for time, this is how I do it. So you screenshot the widgets, and then you highlight something that is where you want to call attention to by just adding, you know, and I'm just in Google Slides or PowerPoint Works. Just highlight it, put a number there, and then say, okay, what's the finding? And so the finding here, which is really interesting, because we didn't do much engagement in June, but the finding here was we did some proactive interactions as part of a last demo that I was preparing for. And we actually got, as a result of that, we got some recruitment candidates that were really interested. So yeah, so that was really interesting. But this is all I recommend, is just pulling the data out, adding some findings, and then what's your recommendation? Engage more regularly. You know, it's really easy. So I'd encourage you guys to get into that. I'm super out of time, so I'm going to just rush the last part of this. I would encourage you to really think about your dashboards, come up with custom templates, just have a crack and then iterate your improvements on them. Okay, I've just got a question. I'm just going to hold off questions until the end. Okay, great. So this is workbenches. So the reason I'd use workbenches is not really to do reporting, like monthly reporting or general reporting. It's more to understand what's going on. So it's really easy. You can just add a data set. So I'm going to add a data set from my Facebook page. And I just want to get an idea about what's going on at the moment. Because we've got some activity right now with this webinar. There's been a few posts about it. Okay, so not too much, but it's all positive. And from here, I can really get an understanding. So if I was to really look back at, say, we had an event, Smarter Sex Summit, I think last month. So I can change the date range to that, and I should be able to see the sentiment, the trend line here. Oh, I think I've got the wrong dates. But yeah, so you'd see a spike there, and then you could really drill into that. So because I'm out of time, I'm just going to jump back. So if we just recap, so monitor and report on social page performance. Okay, so you do that, build a custom dashboard, really figure out what you want. Monitor and report on social listening for brand, competitors, and industry. So it's really exactly the same way. I've set up custom dashboards for social listening, for competitor listening, and it's just a template that the team can then take, duplicate every month, and do their analysis on, and follow the same process every month. It's not rocket science, but it requires a structured process and training and governance. And then perform deep analysis on campaigns and crises. So I didn't really demonstrate this well, but going through workbenches is how you do it. Great. And then for me, as my job is I get that report and I get to go in there. And I think, you know, one of the coolest things is the Social Studio mobile platform. You can do really cool things. Even if you don't have a topic profile set up or anything configured, you can search for Trump, for example. It will give you the last 7 days results on him, as well as high-level analytics. So this is a really great party trick to show people, especially if there's like a unfolding news story and, you know, you can quickly whip out your phone and take an assessment. The other really great thing about the mobile app as a manager is that I can see all of my dashboards in the app. So all of these dashboards that we saw before, they're all available for viewing. They're all mobile responsive, and you can interact with them. So in this case, you click this little share button on this widget, and that goes straight to email. And I've emailed Randy. I'm like, hey, Randy, we need to increase our engagement ASAP because we've got no assignment on 57.4% of posts. So that gives me control as a manager. I've got visibility, none of this smoke and mirrors agency stuff. Okay, so wrapping it up, Summer 17, social release features, AI for everyone, Lightning Console and Service Cloud is awesome. Lightning Service Setup Wizard is really amazing. And they're continuing to deepen the integration between social, sales, marketing, and service. So get into the trailhead for that release if you haven't already. Okay, so how to operationalize social. So I'm going to run through this really quickly. So set up your command center everywhere. So the more you expose the data, the more that people will take it seriously. Like, for example, my 54% no assignment, I need to expose that number way more so that people start treating it like a thing. The second point, which is the most important way to drive transformation, is to integrate social into your BAU process. So the more you can integrate social into sales, service, marketing, your IT process, which people forget about, your change management process, your learning and development process, your risk management process, and your BI process. Your entire business has to take on social media. In order to do that, you need to integrate it, like technically integrate it into your core platforms. Third, dedicate IT budget to develop and maintain social technology. So people kind of leave it to the side. It's like a marketer's problem, but really it's an IT spend that you need to prepare for. Okay, so fourth point, build a center of excellence in-house. So you can't rely on agencies to be best practice. You've got to drive them. It's as simple as that. You'll never have consistent success unless you learn how to do it yourself. 5, find partners to help you achieve operational scale. Robots coming. So robots are coming soon, soon, soon. So you don't necessarily need to build a huge operation now because soon it'll become a lot more efficient. So I would recommend finding a way to scale with partners rather than bringing people in-house. But before you start with robots, you have to get the basic human engagement process right. You have to be able to engage coherently in a robust fashion on social so that you can have robots support that human process. Get ROI through adding social personas to advertising journeys. So this is really, a lot of people are asking, where's the ROI in social? It's really by selling to them, you know, by like offering them services. So KLM make $25 million a year through social customer service, through upselling ancillary products like insurance. Command center is a really great way to drive adoption of social because it exposes what people are doing or not doing. And I'd also encourage you guys to look at your social maturity. So, you know, as I said, you've got to integrate social into every part of your business. You've got to look at every part of your business and say, how equipped are you to adopt social? And then pick out the weak areas and increase your maturity. We've got a methodology for this. I'm just going to skip that slide. But, you know, in my opinion, Agile is really the only way to continually adopt this fast-moving technology. You know, you can't plan for this stuff 2 years down the track. You have to be iteratively moving towards. Great, and finally, how to work with a partner. So this is really, Social Studio makes it so easy. So your social partner, so your agency, they draft a calendar and you approve. They engage on social and they escalate the important stuff to CRM. They prepare and send the reports so you know what's going on. So that's what they do. They're doing 3 very simple activities. You, as a owner, manager, whatever, you approve the calendars and give feedback. You review engagement and handle escalations in CRM, and you review the reports. So it makes your life a lot easier. You look happy. This guy looks very relaxed, no wrinkles. Cool, and finally, so we've had a success story with HighPages recently where we integrated their social with their sales and service clouds, and now it's just made everything so much easier for them. We got a 10 out of 10 CSAT, and the project was completed in 2 weeks exactly. We have some accelerators available to fast track social adoption. So Social Power On, $5,000, and it just gets you started on Social Studio, publish, engage, analyze. Social Connect, it is the integration between Social Studio and Sales and Service Cloud with Social Hub, which will automate your case and lead creation. We've got some other accelerators as well. We also provide managed services around digital marketing. Great. Okay, so I'm really out of time, but if there's any questions, please do ask them. I see we've got one from Courtney. In terms of the word cloud, how do you quantify the size and color of Word? How many mentions is that without clicking on it? Oh, yeah, good question. I don't think, if you hover over it, there's no count. That's a really good product feature idea, though. It may be a good idea to suggest that. You can export to CSV the output of that, which does have the count in it as well. Okay, great. I've got Shiv Nanda. I have a few questions. One is Instagram DM included in the Engage, or is it yet to be included? So that's a really good question, Shiv. So it's recently, it should be in the recent release. I haven't seen it yet. There's some features still being turned on, like sales leaderboard and command center just got turned on today for me. So I'll take that as an action to follow up with support and send an update out. So your second question, secondly, once we close the post, is it possible to reopen it later if needed? Yes, absolutely. You just change the status back to reopen. 3, is it possible to see views on the link mentioned in the post, like we have who opened our email and how many times the mail was open? No, it's not possible to have that. 4, comments by John won't be reviewed by you before posting, or there is a way to review and approve comments too. So within Social Studio, there's no way to review engagement replies before sending them. However, if you're using social customer service with Service Cloud, there is a feature for that. So your service agents have governance. 5, as our organization is currently not using Marketing Cloud, is there any way to have hands-on experience on Social Studio as we can't log into it? In short, how can I find the same to sign up for the same? Really sorry. Okay, no, that's fine. Yeah, so I think Trailhead is available for if you log in with Facebook. I think that's the easiest way for you to get exposure. Aside from that, yeah, it's really, you'd really need a license. Great, we had one from Gerard Maroney. Can Facebook ads be created inside Social Studio? Yeah, that's an excellent question, actually, Gerard. So there is a beta feature where you can boost posts from within Social Studio. So when you're publishing, you can boost it. You can set an approval and a boost limit. I've seen it working, but you need to go through the beta program, which I don't think is available to everyone. So with Stockland, they were going through that, and it's a really cool feature because it